Hello everyone and welcome to another Wayfarers East Heroclix tutorial. In our last video we talked about the Giant Reach ability, and in this video we're going to be talking about the Great Size ability. Now, like Giant Reach, Great Size can be identified when looking for the two men standing next to each other in the damage slot on the dial. Now, Great Size is identified as this character can use improved movement over red, green, over brown, and this character may move through squares adjacent to or occupied by opposing characters, but still needs to break away normally. And it cannot be knocked back. When this character makes a close combat attack, it may target characters on higher elevations. This character may draw lines of fire and have lines of fire drawn to it as if the character occupied the elevation equal to or greater than the elevation it occupies, using the elevation level with the least restrictive line of fire. This ability can't be countered. Now, this one is a real mouthful and sometimes can be very difficult to understand, so I will do my best to elaborate on it. Now, the first part of Great Size is this character can use improved movement over red, green, over brown, and may move through squares adjacent to or occupied by opposing characters, but still needs to break away normally. Now, if you remember back to the video with the flight ability, it means that the character can move through green freely without having to stop like it normally would. It means it can run up red freely without having to go and use the stairs, which is really handy. And if it was an outdoor map up in the corner here, and let me adjust the camera. If it's an outdoor map, it would be able to use, or able to be run over this blocking terrain, which is also very handy and useful. Now, since we're using an indoor map, you wouldn't be able to do that, but still the concept is the same. Also, it means it can move freely within characters when running around them. So normally you would have to base up to a character, or when you base up you would have to stop. In this ability allows you to just run freely around them without having to stop basing up. But then once you're based up to them, you have to break away normally. Now, if you remember, the character with the two giant men gets +1 to its breakaway roll because of the Giant Reach ability, but nonetheless it still has to break away. Also, Great Size means that a character cannot be knocked back. So if Doctor Strange is attacking Sauron here, and he rolls, those double 5s and hits a 10 and would hit on Sauron, and it would normally knock him back, say, 3 squares. Or in this case, it would be, so say he's here and it would knock him back 3 squares. And he would hit a wall. But since he has Great Size, he would not get knocked back. He'd basically stay put and say, "No, fool, you ain't moving me anywhere." Which is really handy when you fight against somebody who thinks they need to roll doubles like it's their job. And so giants can be very, very useful that way as well. And then when this character makes a close combat attack, it may target characters on higher elevations. Okay, so what this means is that when Sauron is standing on floor 1 right here, and Doctor Strange is standing on floor 2 right there, Sauron can still attack him. Normally, in order to make close combat attacks from elevations, you would have to be standing on the stairs like that, but since Sauron is a giant, he can attack Doctor Strange on any elevation like that. Likewise, with ranged combat attacks, this character may draw lines of fire and have lines of fire drawn to it as if the character occupied the elevation equal to or greater than the elevation it occupies. Okay, what does this mean? Well, then also, sorry, I forgot a part. It says using the elevation with the least restrictive line of fire. Okay. So, say Sauron is standing right there, and Doctor Strange is standing right there. Normally, when making a ranged combat attack, you would have to be on the edge of the elevated terrain in order to see people down on the floor. But since Sauron is a giant, it's almost as if the playing field is even or equal instead of there being, the hierarchy of land. So if Doctor Strange is standing back here and Sauron's standing back there, Doctor Strange can still target Sauron with a ranged combat attack. But likewise, Sauron, if he had range, which he doesn't, but if he did, he would also be able to draw lines of fire to Doctor Strange in the same manner. Now, it says using the elevation with the least restrictive line of fire. What this means is if Sauron was standing right here, and we'll say this is hindering terrain, but then let's say this wasn't, this elevated terrain would be in the way of Sauron's view. So think of it almost as if Sauron is standing in front of a wall right here, and Doctor Strange is hiding behind that wall. If Doctor Strange was even with the wall, Sauron would still be able to attack him, but because he's hiding behind it, Sauron cannot see him anymore. But Doctor Strange can also not see Sauron. So walls, or elevated terrain is something that is useful when hiding or fighting against a giant. And then lastly, this ability cannot be countered, meaning that the ability of Outwit cannot be used against it. And Outwit, again, we will get to in a later date, but Outwit basically allows you to get rid of an opponent's ability for a turn. That's basically all there is with Great Size. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you like and subscribe to Wayfarers East, and check us out on Facebook and Twitter. Share this video with your friends, and leave your comments in the comment section below. And that's basically it. So without further ado, have a great day.